I was saying when I was younger, I remember, you say you want to be an officer, and you're gonna have people that are like, oh, like he wants to be a fucking officer, blah blah blah. And what I did first was I talked to my guys that I was friendly with and said, hey, like I think I'm gonna run. What do you guys think? I got their opinion first, and then we started talking about certain things that like, oh well, we could do this, and maybe I can do that. And then when I got into the position of second lieutenant, I had all these like grandiose ideas, and then you quickly learn like, oh no, you're like a probie again as a second lieutenant, and you have to ride that line. Basically, go back to your friends, be like, look, yeah, we had all these ideas to kind of make things better and make things good for the younger guys, but like there's a lot of layers now that I have to go through. You got to set expectations and also talk to your friends about like, look, I know we hang out at the firehouse, we fuck around, and sometimes we get into trouble and whatnot, but like I can't be part of that anymore. So if things start getting a little crazy, like I just might have to leave or whatever. But the other part
I
of it,
used to leave parties early all the time.
and the other part of it too is like, look, I'm going to be in a position now where if you do something stupid, it's going to fall on my plate. And when
And you got to tell people you're putting me in a bad position.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you decide to become an officer in the fire department, the department comes first. The mission of the fire department comes first. So if you have a friend that's fucking around and thinks because you're an officer that's his get out of jail free card, you have to nip that in the butt right away, and make it known that like, look, I have a much different role now. I'm not going to let it get to my head. I'm going to try and do the best I can for you guys. But if you don't give me the chance to do that and you guys fuck up, like, yeah, I might have to hand you a suspension or something like that. So you have to set those expectations early. And, no matter what you do, some people are going to be, they think that it's going to go to your head and say that it's gone to your head. Like, you're going to deal with all that bullshit.
You're always going to deal with that. I've always tried to take care of my people as best I could. And, there were times I got in arguments with friends and, well, you're supposed to be my friend. Well, I have to be the chief right now, or I have to be the officer right now. Mm-hmm. It's just the way it is. And, you got to be able to finagle and ride that line or a wave as best you can. And, I've always tried to protect people and justify it. It's gotten me jammed up more than once. Both, volunteer and professional, where I stood up for people and I kind of got jammed up. And it happens, And there's times where I've had to tell people, no, I'm sorry, you're wrong. I got to be the lieutenant. I got to be the captain, or I got to be the chief, whatever. It's just the nature of the business. And yes, the department and the company have to come first before your personal preferences sometimes. But, I also learned over time, and it took time, of how to navigate and how to justify and how to, kind of talk to people and get them to understand your position or your side of it. And you're right, as a baby chief, as the baby lieutenant, you can have all the ideas in the world, and if you can't justify it or push it the right way, you're never going to get through. So it's like a give and take sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's a difficult road. But you can still be friends with people and be the officer. Mm-hmm. You just got to know how to justify and manipulate, for the most part, how it's going to be done. And
right.
Sometimes, we can take different paths and still get to the same mission or to the same end. And it just takes a little navigating. But you can make it happen very easily. But you got to understand, your friends have to understand, everybody wants to be an officer. I don't want to say everybody wants to be an officer, but the people that do want to be officers, sometimes they push it. And I've had people call me and say, hey, I want to be, lieutenant or captain, I'd like your backing. And I've always told people the truth. And I've told some people, I'm sorry, I don't think you're ready. Mm-hmm. I've told people that, I think you should wait. I've had guys that didn't have enough time to run, but, put in letters to get the time or get the ability to run, through boards and everything else. And there were times where I've told people, listen, I respect you that you want to do that, and I feel like you're kind of like me. You're a go-getter, but it's not your time. I don't think. And it's not that it's somebody else's time or anything else. It's just I don't think you're ready for that.
Yeah, I think I've had people told that to me because I was young. I was 21 when I ran, and there were a couple people that same deal. I went to them, people that I trusted, and said, "Hey, like, what's your honest opinion?" And a few of them were like, "No, I think this is good. You know, young officer. We got a lot of young guys. Like, you can do stuff." And then there was other guys that are like, "Dude, you've only been a firefighter for 4 years. You know, like, do you truly feel like you have what it takes to be a leader?" And you know, I mean, either way, I went for it, but I still, as I progressed in the ranks, I would always go back to those guys, the guys that told me that they didn't think I was ready, or the guys that told me, yeah, go for it. I would still go back to them and ask them for their opinion. Hey, how am I doing? What can I do better? You know, give me some advice. And that goes a long way. Like, if you just get into the position and you're just like, I got the badge on my chest, and, you know, you're going to walk around, you're an asshole. You know, seek out those mentors. And even if you do have friends down there that start giving you shit because you have to do certain things as an officer that they don't necessarily agree with, go talk to a mentor about it and be like, how should I handle this? You know, there's plenty of guys out there.
Listen, there's people I've told, you know, that maybe they shouldn't run or it's not their time, and it's not that I didn't like them.
Right.
I just felt there was somebody more qualified or better suited for that position. And it wasn't about being friendly or anything else. I was just being honest. You know, a lot of people, you know, they go around, they make phone calls or they send letters out. Oh, I'm running for this position. And then they call you and you're like, you know, they all give you the same answer. Oh, yeah, I'll definitely back you and support you. And they're like, haha, I ain't supporting that guy.
Right, yeah.
I'll tell you the truth. Or,
Yeah, you
and
need
I
that.
and I will tell you at the end of any of those phone calls or any of those conversations, I say best of luck to you. Good luck.
Yeah.
Because if you win, I don't want you to be mad at me that I didn't vote for you.
Right, and you also don't, like, you don't want them to fail.
And
either.
I will tell them, if you need any help or assistance, I'd be glad to help you in that position. I always wanted to try to help people and mentor people down the line.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's nothing wrong with that.